Good evening, everybody, and greetings to everybody in Missouri as well as California from the California Delta Loop. I got a couple of notes from people who wanted me to do an update tour of what Angel's Haven looks like right now. So I'm going to do that with a few comments here and there about things that I have changed since my first comprehensive video. First of all, my garden. I have a little garden, mostly succulents because they're easy. I do have a lime tree. That's a dwarf lime tree. And if you look really closely, you can see that it has limes on it. It's pretty cool. So I have a Gerber daisy, which Patty Whitaker gave me. I have some succulents, which I bought at a major neighborhood yard sale, jade plant. So I think most of you have seen the outside, but it's certainly different from the very first tour that I did back in December. So continuing up the stairs, I still haven't painted my white rocker, but I will someday this summer maybe. The wrens did not nest in the bird nest, but I'll be real quiet. You can hear the birds. Lots of nesting birds. So we'll go inside. Angel with my Chinese beads. I'm not 100% sure if that's real Chinese or not. They were sold as Chinese style at a thrift store. So, coming inside, of course, there is a screen door now. That wasn't there in December. So I have my table up. As you can see, I have a curtain on the window now, as opposed to the scarf and Tibetan flags that were there originally. The Tibetan flags are out there on the porch. They're getting kind of raggedy out there. One of the things that happens when you go tiny is that you start out with everything crammed in a few centralized places, and then, just as happens when you're in a bigger house, things start to spread out. As you might remember, I had a long white shelf on the counter when I first started out. That just really felt cluttered. I also had plates on the second shelf, and my food is there now. The food was underneath the refrigerator, and I never did like that. So I just moved the plates to the top cabinet. The rail that's up there was not up in December, but it's been up since January probably, so you might have seen that. I brought more art from Kansas City. That watercolor above the washer dryer is by Marianne Coonrod. I believe the title of it might be Plaza Lights. I'm not positive. As you might have gathered from some of my blogs or videos, there's no exhaust fan in the bathroom. So I got that metal fan which sits in the window, and I have it blowing outward. So when the place is steamy from a shower or even from cooking, I turn that on and it takes the moisture outside. I brought this Lazy Susan from my storage unit. It was in the kitchen in Kansas City. some of you might know that I'm moving the last few things in the Kimberly Kellogg style of moving by Southwest, packing an extra suitcase when I come back from my Kansas City trips. What I do is put my suitcase inside a bigger suitcase. Then when I get to Kansas City, I take it out and I have an empty suitcase. So that works out great. I also found, you can see at the end there, more of the plastic dishes from my childhood. Mixture of originals and thrift store replacements. I brought those back. I'm really glad to have them. I haven't gotten the other few spice rack holders up yet, but I will eventually. Another thing I'm planning on doing eventually, see the cabinet where the towels are. I want to put some sort of door on that, like a door that lifts, put hinges on the top or something. I haven't decided yet. I stuck the rattan stool up there. It was kind of in the way. I have ordered a different mattress for myself, and I'll put my futon up there. I was watching the sales. I finally got one. Some of you haven't seen that I got a toilet paper holder up. That's been a couple months, but it was not in the original video. Also not in the original video, but here for several months is the great cabinet. I did not have a medicine cabinet in here, and that was kind of inconvenient, so I put that up. There are 2 angels up there, which my sister gave me, and the 3 little things in the middle recently came back from Kansas City, so they were new. My son gave me a magnet. The one on the right he sent me for Mother's Day, bless his heart. It says, "Smash the Patriarchy." The one on the far left is a picture of my son and a friend of mine in Arkansas. She's now deceased. Her name was Paula. The one in the middle is a Day of the Dead magnet that my son got in Mexico. It's actually a sand dollar. And I didn't realize I still had it, so I got it out, put it up. You all remember the perennial famous debate about whether or not people would use the day bed / my bed for a couch. Patty Whitaker and I put our heads together, and she came up with the idea of getting a body pillow and putting it behind the big pillows. I'm going to walk a little closer. And so now I think anybody coming in here would sit on that. I would certainly. I found this old trunk in Lodi at Secondhand Rose, and I put that cushion on it, and what's behind it serving as a seat back is actually a folding table. I just stuck there, but I was putting away some clothes, so it moved a little. Anyway, I think this looks pretty nice. I'm hoping people will sit in it. One of the things that happens, as I said, when you move into a tiny house, you tend to just put things anywhere. In the last couple of days, I've been sort of moving things around. There's a stack of books on the stairs. That's going to, I read all those. It's going to be put in the car and traded around in Rio for other books. But I've now got shoes in 2 cubbies, books that I'm going to either read or reread in a cubby, my exercise equipment in a cubby, and I put my box of medicine over there. You know, you have limited space, so you just, I'm sorry for my finger going down. You have limited space, so you just move things around until you figure out what works best. And I think this works pretty well. I got another plein air, which actually I had already selected, but it was in a show. This is by Nicole Thibodeau. I don't know if you can really see it. There you go. Oh, that's better. This is a plein air work by a Kansas artist named Nicole Thibodeau. I have another one of her works upstairs. I had a show in which she was featured a year or so ago. I bought one of her works then. I saw this online. I really liked the idea that it had tiny houses in it. And I told her I wanted it and worked it out to buy it, but it was in a show. So I finally got it. Let's see, what else is different? I'm going to go upstairs. Like anybody that owns any kind of art, expensive or not, I always rearrange it. I don't know if you've gotten a close-up of the digital depiction of our house in Kansas City that my son did. He did put little girl, our dog, and Sprinkles, our first cat, on the porch. Since I last did a full video, little girl finally succumbed to her cancer. We had to ease her pain, as they say. That's why she didn't move with me, because she had cancer. So I think the writing loft has looked pretty much like this for a while. The work above that little bookshelf is my other work by Nicole Thibodeau. It's called Cupcake. But the writing loft has looked like this for a while. I like it. It's very comfortable. One of the things I realize is that someday I might not be living here. You know, maybe I'll get old and die, or maybe I don't know, decide I don't want to live tiny anymore. And I think this room could be used for an actual bedroom if someone wanted it to be. And then they could put just a couch or something under it. So I do think there's some versatility. There's the other Amish table. It was down there where the bench with the cushion on it, or the box with the cushion on it now is. I really like it up here, and I think it gives me a little more versatility. The sleeping loft looks pretty much the same as it has, but I will fix it up a little bit. My son is coming in the fall, and I'll make sure it's comfy, cozy for him. I've got the table up. The table is fine for me, and it's a beautiful table, but I still haven't figured out how to sit two at it. So that's a tour of Angel's Haven, what it looks like today after few little changes and modifications. I really like it, and I'm very comfortable here. And I want to tell anyone that lives in the Delta that we will be having a tiny house tour October 6th. But if I'm here and you stop by, I'll be happy to show you around. In the meantime, thanks for spending a minute or two of your day to see my tiny house. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.